Hi blokes, you alright? I hope you enjoyed the last videos. Obviously the one with the bag making. I've been busy. I've been making more. That's another one I've made. Similar thing. I'm now getting the hang of actually stitching around the things a bit better, so they are starting to look a bit better now. I mean, the old ones, alright, they looked a bit crap, but they still do a job. So this one I've made up, obviously keep the bedroll nice and dry and protected. I've made a number of other ones. I've got some for frying pans and for other bits of kit. I also got some more ripstop nylon. I've got some half decent waterproof stuff, and I've knocked myself up. No, I've knocked together a 1.5 by 1.5 tarp. That's 1.5 metres squared. It's a handy little thing because I've got the DD 3x3, which I'm going to use for canoeing trips and bike packing trips such like. I intend to set that up as a tarp tent configuration. Obviously with that configuration you've got an opening at the front which has got no flaps or anything covering over it, no protection. So I've knocked this together basically so I can put that across the front and just keep the wind out, the rain out, whatever, give myself a little bit of privacy as well. So yeah, again, my stitching is slowly improving. It's not brilliant, but it's slowly improving. So I've hemmed it all the way round, sewn on these little elasticated tie-outs, and well, you can see very well on the thing there, I've put little strengthening pieces in as well, sewn in to reinforce it a bit. It should do the job at least. For what it cost, I mean, it didn't cost a great deal. I've got 5 metres by 1.5 metres of fabric, so I've used 1.5 metres of that 5 metres now already with that. And that was, I think that came to somewhere about 21 quid, I think, for 5 metres of fabric. And you can make a hell of a lot of stuff out of that for 21 quid. Plus obviously your bit of needle and yes, your sewing thread, your other things, bits and pieces like toggles, elastic for tie-outs. I don't know how long that's going to last, that elastic, we'll see. Let's see. A spare, this is a bought one, this bag. It's not one of my homemade ones. So I had a spare dry bag, I can keep that in. So some of those, hang on, I've got some paracord there for tying out. I've got some of those cheap tent pegs that originally came with a DD tarp, those little wire tent pegs, which will probably do the job for this. So yeah, that's those. Now, I've also, while I'm putting this away, I've also been on Temu. I've never been on Temu before, so it was a totally new experience to me. I had a good look through and there was some interesting looking stuff on there. Stuff that's useful for camping, you know, backpacking, that sort of stuff. So I thought, well hell, it's not massively expensive, it's quite reasonably decently priced, and I thought I'd give it a go. And you have to wait from initial order, I think it's somewhere around about 10-14 days before it turns up. It's usually shipped over by air freight. And so here's some of the first items that I got. These are a couple of quid. So you've got a neck muffler thing. Take the glasses off. Pop this over. Yeah, some of you will say this is an improvement. Yeah, you know what I say to that. It ends with off. Right, so yeah. Nice little thing. It's elasticated around the top. It's got like a mesh panel on the front there for you, so you're not suffocating yourself. It's not bad. Yeah, quite like that. That was something about 3 quid. So the same price. There was some camo fingerless gloves. Again, they're not expensive, you know, top quality stuff, but they're well enough put together for what you pay for them. They just offer you that little bit of protection and maybe a little bit of insulation against the frost. They've got a little bit of padding across the back there, across your knuckles. Palm protection's not too bad. Give you a little bit of resistance if you're using a knife or something. It might give you a bit of protection in case it slips. Save you cutting your hand open. Mobility wise, yeah, fingers move okay in that. So they are what they are. They're cheap, they're cheerful, they'll do the job. Also ordered another one of these. Again, these are all what I would call pocket money prices. So if any of you are on a budget like me, you're on a tight budget, you want cheap gear, this is the sort of thing. This is a little sit pad. It's got reflective backing on it. I don't know how good that is for heat insulating properties or whatnot. I shudder to think. It's got a little bit of cushioning in it. Feels like that that foam that you use on the roll mat. Yeah, that roll mat there. Feels like that sort of foam in that. But it's all right. Sit me down on it, you know. Again, cheap cheerful does the job. This was quite nice. Nice little belly pack. Strap it round. Fits on the front. I'll have to adjust the front for my belly. But you've got useful little forage pouch there. Or you can keep your fire starting kit in it. Whatever you like. It's a sort of nylon canvasy type material. Again, fairly well made. Yeah, it's not the top quality stuff, but it certainly serve a purpose, and it should do all right till you can afford some better quality stuff. I mean, it's basically all this cheap gear is, basically, isn't it? It's a stopgap. It's to get you started, to get you outdoors, so you've got something you can carry your stuff around in until you can afford something a bit more top quality and posh. So yeah, that's nice enough. The zips are okay. Yeah, they nice and free running. They don't pull apart. Another little zip pocket on the front there. It's quite nice. And yeah, little pockets there for, I don't know, you can put a lighter in there, compass, whatever, for your map reading. I'm going to use this essentially to keep my camera gear in, the little bits and pieces you get with your mock GoPro, and your like battery charger. I've got a power bank kicking around here somewhere. Where is it? There's the fella. So little power bank that will slip in the bag there with the other stuff, all the camera bits. Yeah, nice useful bit of kit. Another thing I bought recently, I've got the fold away chair. You've seen that, I've used that in a few videos, the orange and black thing. Now I've bought this, I saw this at about £7 I think it was. I'll put the prices on the video as each item comes up. I'll give you the price of what they are, or at least you will have seen by now anyway. Yeah, it's a little footstool, also a little seat that you can sit down on. Also doubles up as a nice little table as well, I suppose. But yeah, I can see a lot of uses for that. Again, I don't know how good the riveting is around these joints. It'll probably fall apart after the first couple of times using it, but for what you pay for it, it's a no-brainer really. It'll either last or it won't. I think as long as you treat them with a bit of care and respect, they should last okay. Another useful bit for the camping area. That was, again, another cheap and cheerful item. It is, as you'll see in a moment, what could it be? you've probably guessed already. It's a little camping table. Now I've got one similar pattern to this. It's an aluminium one, sort of bare aluminium coating. It's an old Galert one or Sun Camp, and it cost me about 18 quid at the time. This wasn't even half that, if I recall correctly. But yeah, that. Handy little camp table. Looks strong enough. Got the bars across the top there to support it all. Again, keeps your stuff off the ground and packs away, doesn't take up a massive amount of space. So yeah, they come in a variety of different colours, so you don't have to just get the army green one. So yeah, if you like them, I would recommend head over to Temu and have a look. They're pretty good. Some of their stuff isn't so good. I bought a drone off there. I thought I was getting this super duper deal. Because the trouble is they catch you out on Temu. They offer these really super duper discounts, and you think, oh yeah, I'm getting 80%, or 50% off this. And when you look at it, in the end, well, you're only paying what it's worth, really. In a particular case, the drone. It was supposed to have been about 40-50 quid. Got it down to about 17 quid, and when I got it, oh my goodness, what a piece of garbage it was. Absolute garbage. I'll do a separate review on that because it is so awful. It needs a separate review. But you take your chances. Like the old saying goes, you pay your money, you take your chances. That, definitely worth it. That's worth the money. That was a good little piece of kit, that. Quick run through for a few other bits. For about, I think it was £1.79 or £2 or something. That wasn't a lot. You get a 2-pack of these, which are folding toothbrushes. How about that? So saves you having to go out and buy a full-size one, snap the end off to fit it in your backpack. You got one of those. Well worth the money. Right. This amused me. This really amused me. It is the Night Market Street Vendor Artifact. It's a camping light, for goodness sake. Night Market Street Vendor Artifact. What the hell are they on about? It's the it's the typical really dodgy English translation of a Chinese item, isn't it? But it's not bad. It's got a little micro USB charging jack there. You've got your power on switch on the top, and you've got 2 light levels plus a flash. Plus there's a nice neat trick. If you're stuck out on I'll say like on a mountain somewhere, and I don't know, you fell over and broke your leg, press and hold the power switch, and it flashes out the SOS code. How neat is that? So yeah, that's not bad. That was, again, it wasn't really that expensive. It was cheap. As for longevity, I don't know. We'll try it out and see it. We'll give you an indication of brightness. I'll turn the lights off in a second and we'll show you how bright this is. Hang him up. On his first light setting. I think that's reasonably bright enough, don't you? I mean, that should be enough to see what you want to do if you're sat in your tent. Slightly lower setting will give you enough ambient light again to see what you need to do. It also saves the battery. Not entirely sure what the strobe effect is all about, unless you're going to have a disco in your tent. And there you go, SOS. Off. So yeah, that was the the night market street vendor artifact. You get a little charging lead with it. As with most of these, it's normally a short little white lead. I think it's about less than half a metre lead on these, if I remember rightly. Yeah, not even that, it's about a foot. But you know, it's alright for charging at home. I would recommend if you're using it in a tent and you've got a power bank and whatnot, you get a longer lead. Simple as that. But yeah, cheap, it's cheerful, and we'll see how it performs out in the field. Now the next item I was very interested in. I was looking forward to getting this. Again, it was about, I think, £7, something like that. Comes in a pack like that, and I'll pull it out of the bag and you'll see what it is. So you got that. It's all laser cut steel components, and it's a little fire pit. Now, that's all quite nice. Quite a decent thickness stainless steel as well. Not your flimsy stuff you normally get. So yeah, quite sturdy. You've got slots in the bottom there, so you got your primary airflow through the fire, so you can have it like that. It's just, you know, load it up with sticks and have it as a fire pit, or you've got the stainless steel grill for cooking to go on the top. Slots in nicely over these little lugs, so that doesn't slide about. Yeah, not a bad little bit of kit. We'll go outside and give that a try, and yeah, we'll see how that performs. There you go. Oh, don't you dare die. Okay, that's going well. Yeah, I'm not so impressed with this little fire pit thing. Seems to tend to smoulder and burns much more slowly. I mean, there is some flame in there, but it's really struggling. You've got your grill, I'll go on top. We're not getting much distortion in the sides, thankfully. So you put your grill on the top. Well, that's an issue when it's hot. That expands and doesn't sit properly. Oh no, there we go. No, that's it. There you go. As it heat up a bit, it'll drop in. But you can see there, look, it's distorting already. It's starting to bow. Yeah, it is what it is. Right, finally getting a bit of life out of that now. Let's take this off the other one. Right. So yeah, finally getting a bit of life out of that. What do you call it? Fire pit thing. Well, you can see, look where it's bowed in the middle there. Again, he's chucking the heat out now. Oh, it took a long while to get going. It took a lot longer than the other stove, but it's going now. But you got enough room on there. Once that's died down to a bed of embers in there, you got enough there you can cook a steak on it. Yeah, so it'll have its uses. Another useful bit of kit, only a couple of quid. Polythene bag, water bottle type thing. Quite nice. Plastic's not super thick. It will probably do the job, but I don't know if you're going for like a longer bike camp and you're staying on a site somewhere, rather than running backwards and forwards to the tap each time with your little water bottles. You have that big thing, 7.5 litres, so that's what, 1.5 gallons. So that's not too bad. Lasts you a few days. Yeah. Right. I haven't filled it right to the top, but there it is. Not very stable, is it? You want to rest it on the edge of something so you can operate the tap, and all it's going to do is fall over. So it holds water, doesn't seem to leak, although time will tell. I'm a bit dubious about these bits on the edges here. I have a nasty suspicion they're going to split and leak, but we'll see. See how good the tap is. Get a cup, so plonk him under there. Of course you have to release the cap on the top first. Oh, okay. Nothing coming out. Oh, hang on. That's why it's got a little protective cap on the end. That's why. That's not a bad little touch actually. That stops any contaminants getting onto the end of your tap. Oh, and it's got a barbed thing, you can put a hose on it. So yeah, does the job. Right, next item on the list. I'm afraid I was a little seduced by this one. They're about 50 quid. This worked out about 50 quid anyway. And it's one of those stainless steel stoves. It comes in a nice carry bag. A decent quality carry bag as well, it's not bad. It's that same odd sort of fleecy, whatever it's that sort of, I don't know what you call it, sort of a nylon-y type material. But anyway, this is the stove. Comes with some Allen keys for tightening everything up, because no doubt once you've used it a couple of times with the heat of it expanding and contracting, it's going to loosen up. But you've got a thingy on the top there, you've got your pot stand, and that is basically it. You just obviously load it up with wood, set light to it, shut the door, and the flames come up the top there, and you basically stick your pot on the top there and cook stuff with. I suppose it could also be used with a chimney if you've got a hot tent. I suppose it's a nice little little small stove for using in a hot tent. Again, another one of those things that looks reasonably decent thickness material. I like the spring-loaded catch on there. That'll be good. Yeah, I think on reflection I could have spent a bit more money and bought a proper decent, you know, the bigger one, so that you'd actually sit the pot on the top there and you can have the chimney out the back. I mean, you wouldn't use that in a tent as it is, you know, not without the chimney on it. And to be honest with you, if you're going to use it with the chimney on it, you're not going to stand a pot on there, are you? But it's handy outdoors, I suppose, as long as you've got a well ventilated space for cooking and whatnot, and it also will chuck a little bit of heat out and keep you a little bit warm. Obviously not on the same lines as the bigger ones, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll give it a try outside. We'll light a fire in it and maybe boil some water on the top and see how it performs.
Quite cool to the touch. That's good. Lovely. Yeah, still cool. That's good. I like that. Go. Okay, 10 minutes later, that's ready. That's done all right. Right, so that stove, getting a lovely clean burn off that. Really clean burn. See a bit more wood in there. Go. So yeah, you can get decent sized pot on there. You probably get a zebra billy on it. As I say, my usual kettle thing that sits on there quite nicely, as you can see. So yeah, that it's got to be a firm 9 out of 10, I think, for that. That's pretty damn good, and it chucks out some heat as well from the body of it. Really does radiate it out. That'd be a nice little tent stove if you get a chimney for it, and obviously go through a chimney jack. But obviously, if you're using it for that, you can't use it for cooking on. But it makes a nice, gosh, really is good, that. I'm very impressed with it. Right, so we're back indoors. It's getting cold out there. Everything's cooled down. It's still quite hot to the touch, that. So yeah, this Temu stove, quite impressed with it, to be honest with you. It's not bad. It's the only, well, major downside, I suppose, is it's quite bulky. It's just not the sort of thing you can stick in the backpack. But if you're going sort of car hot tent camping, then yeah, that would work out quite well. If you get a chimney for it, and it works great as a lovely little space heater. But as I say, if you're outdoors, as long as you're not in a confined space, you just use it as a normal stove, basically, for cooking on and boiling the kettle. Great advantages, obviously, if you're in a woodland or somewhere like that, you've got plenty of free fuel around. Obviously, you have to remember to cut the bits of wood to suit the length of the stove. It is quite short. But again, that's not a big issue, is it, really? Yeah, good little thing. Really, really impressed with that. So all in all, what did I think of my first experience with Temu? Well, apart from the dodgy drone, which we'll cover in another review, all in all, not too bad. Yeah, the little stool, nice little bit of kit. Yeah, packs away. I've got a little dry bag I can pack that away into, and yeah, it takes up less room than the folding chair that I've got, which you've seen in other videos. It is what it is. It's just a little thing that stops you sitting on cold, damp ground. You know, comfort wise, it's okay. I wouldn't sit on it for long periods of time, because I just imagine it get a bit uncomfortable after a bit. But yeah, for what it cost, not bad at all. The big stove with glass front, that's nice bit of kit. Yeah, can't really fault it, to be honest with you. It is what it is. I can think of a multitude of different uses. As I say, with a chimney jack on it, be ideal for a hot tent. It'll chuck out just enough heat to keep you warm, and you can use it outside, obviously in a well ventilated area without the jack on it, with just the stove attachment on the top for cooking and boiling water and whatnot. The beauty of it as well, obviously being a wood stove, twig stove, plenty of free fuel around. So yeah, good little thing to have. Backpacking wise, yeah, probably not a great thing for if you're walking great distances, but I mean, if you're walking into a woodland for, I don't know, about, say about a mile walk or something, yeah, carrying that's not going to be a big issue, is it? The folding table, get the thing open, that thing, yeah, that's good. I've had similar ones before, they've been pretty good, and this is pretty much the same. I like the way the legs lock. It's got a bar that goes across, but you have to lock the bar in first before you fold the legs out, because otherwise you're not going to do it. But yeah, that, again, cheap and cheerful, but it does the job. Really does the job. Yeah, the metal fire pit thing. Well, that's in there anyway. Yeah, stainless steel fire pit. It's okay. It's decent material. It does distort a little bit with the heat, but it's nice and flat. It'll fit in a backpack. It weighs about, I think, less than a kilo. That. Yeah, it's not a bad thing. It does take a while to get going. It's a bit of a faff, but I think practice makes perfect in the case of this thing. So we'll give it a few more goes and see how we get on with it. But yeah, it's all right. So in all, yeah, my first experience with Temu's been mostly a positive one, and I'll certainly be using it for other stuff, and probably be doing more reviews on that. So yeah, look forward to doing that in the future. Right, I'm going to close now. There'll be the drone video come up. I won't give you too much information away about the drone. That'll be in that video. So yeah, you can look forward to that one. So in the meantime, until the next video, I'll say goodbye. Goodbye.